Let me take the opportunity to recognize the fellow guest speakers and the members of the table, parents, teachers, most importantly you, the students who would have performed at this Rising Star Challenge to ensure that the efforts being put forward here this morning by the Linden Dream Team is one that we should encourage not only among ourselves, but that we should encourage for others to emulate, to follow, to give back. And that in itself is one of the qualities of a true leader that we must recognize, the desire to give back, to help. And before I go, let me take this opportunity to say this. Leadership is not in itself something grand and to make men proud and self-conceited. If they call me servant, it is better to be called servant than a leader. As leadership is not what matters. What matters is service. And that is to God and fellow man. I take the opportunity to make a note of this. This statement, so relevant as it is. I read this book 4 years ago. It is called Narratives of Awakening by Ayatollah Imam Khomeini. And what that demonstrated is what we strive for as we intend to help each other. And that is the most fundamentally important, that's the most fundamental important thing you must understand. As youngsters, as young leaders, that your quest to lead, it is not one that when you acquire to be proud and self-conceited. It is one that you acquire to be in service to your fellow man, to be in service to Almighty God. That is the truest quality of a leader. Forget everything else. Once you can do that, all the other things follow. All the other things that you desire will come. Because as it is said, that a good leader must be an excellent follower. And it is only then with that willingness and that understanding that you are prepared to commit to something bigger than yourselves, which show that you're not proud enough to lead others when it comes for them to listen to you. So I want to leave that most important with you before I get into any other discussion. That you look towards persons in your community. You look towards people in society. And you must understand that in looking towards them, the qualities that they possess should inspire you, should educate you, should make you want to become persons of meaning, persons of value. You are out purposefully because you would have saw in someone, a leader, the quality that says that they are prepared to serve you. That is the humbleness of a leader. And I remember last year having the opportunity, and I want to thank the Linden Dream Team for this second opportunity to speak to some young persons like yourselves and to say this, that it will never be overemphasized of how important it is outside of service to self, outside of service to God and fellow man. Most importantly also is to be humble, is to be patient. These are the attributes I'm pointing out to you that makes an excellent leader, that makes for someone who's prepared to listen, to learn, and most importantly to lead. Because you cannot lead if you don't listen, if you're unwilling to learn. And these are the things that truly define what leadership and who a leader is. So I want you to understand that even in your classroom, once you're prepared to be in service to your fellow students, boys and girls, teachers, parents, then you will be leading them to understand who you really are. And once they can know who you are, I can guarantee you, all the good qualities that you have hidden within you will be exposed. And these exposures allow for them to appreciate the leadership quality within you. And that is most important. What you can demonstrate, it is how you allow persons to appreciate what you as an individual have within you to offer. And therein is where the service of you as an individual come in. So I want you to take key note of those three attributes that I mentioned. First, service. Second, to be humble. And third, to be very patient. But patience comes with steadfastness. To be persistent at what you do. To ensure that you stand your ground and to know that you're standing for something firm. As any leader will tell you, that if you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. And it is that character building within each and every one of you that gives you the strength to stand firmly for what you believe in. So I want you to understand that though we take for granted sometimes what little we have to offer, you believe that though you may be a student and you may not be the very brightest in your class, you may not be the most popular in your class, but understand that within you, you have something to offer. And it is that offering that defines you. And it is what you allow to come out from those offerings that makes you the individual that you will grow to become and the leader that you aspire to be. So, without taking too much of Sharma Solomon as the individual, without taking too much of the presenters to come,